Hi everyone, my name is Mary Beth. Welcome to my channel. So today we are going to ask what shadows are blocking the connection. What shadows? So I'll do one for the DM and I'll do one for the DF. And feel free to switch roles or feel free to take guidance from both sides since we are the DM and the DF energies. Okay. Also, I am offering a 10-minute free reading to any new subscribers. If you do subscribe, please let me know. You can comment below or you can email me at twinflamealchemisttarot@gmail.com. Also, for any of you who have already subscribed and would like a 10-minute free reading, then please comment below or email me. And so I'm offering one 10-minute free reading to my subscribers as a thank you. And thank you so much for those of you who have already subscribed. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get started. All right, so before we begin, please know that this is a collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. Also, if you have a beautiful rose quartz in your home, doesn't have to be this size, please know that my guides can speak to your guides as I'm channeling through the rose quartz, and you may get more clarity from my readings. It's called crystal work according to my guides. So it's called crystal work. So that's beautiful. And also my intention for this channel is to help as many people as possible get into twin flame union, help people become the highest versions of themselves, to help empower as many DFs and DMs as I can, and to be a clear channel for the divine and have fun. Also to connect to you all, and also go ahead and make an intention that you would like to get out of this reading. But first we're going to start with the, we're going to start with the DM. So what shadow could be blocking the twin flame union on the DM side? We're going to start with the collective divine masculine. Again, feel free to switch roles. Okay, we're going to use the same deck, one for the DM and one for the DF. So DM, one card. What could be blocking? What shadow could be blocking twin flame union right now? So we have gilded regret. Interesting. Okay, so we got some regret here, right? Okay, so, well, she's even got thorns in her. Wow. Okay, so something happened in the past where they really regret. They regret acting a certain way, doing something. It most likely has to do with your twin flame union. It also could be regret for something that happened outside of the twin flame union. Maybe something happened back in the past. It could be unconscious regret from a past life. I mean, we're all working on mirroring out old programs, old shadows, things that could be weighing us down, keeping us in a lower vibration, and also blocking twin flame union. But we will get clarity on that in just a moment. Let's look at the divine feminine side now. What shadow could possibly be blocking twin flame union on the divine feminine side, please? What shadow? All right, yeah, we got parasite. Okay, so there's a couple of meanings to parasite. We've had this one before. And so this is about feeding off, negative energy. And so a parasite could be feeding off anything. It could be feeding off like what's going on in the news, feeding off what's going on outside of themselves in the world, and making it their own, feeding off other people's energies. A lot of this may have to do with sometimes there's blogs or there's websites out there where maybe even when in the comment box, which is why I ask that we don't do that on my YouTube channel, what happens is there's a lot of comments that go on where people feed into each other's energies, where it's negative, where everyone talks about how they are so upset with their twin flame for whatever reason, and that gets caught into your energy and it causes blockages, and it actually causes the twin flame union to be more like repelled. And so you have to be careful of any kind of energy that you get involved with. And you may not associate with this shadow. Like I said, feel free to, switch or feel maybe both, but, don't take don't take it if it doesn't resonate. So basically, parasite is all about feeding off some kind of negative energy, right? Misery loves company. They want to feel like they're not the only ones in misery. And again, it doesn't have to be about the twin flame. It could just be life in general. Maybe like, life sucks because of this or because of that or because government, whatever it is. And so what this does is it brings your own vibration, it poisons your own vibration, and then that brings you to a lower vibration altogether. And then you have all this programming that's inside of you that is also programming you to believe a certain way. And so what that does is ends up, putting a block between you and your twin flame. So if you could remember the 3 levels of consciousness, first level where a lot of people are at this time is the world is happening to me. And the second level is the world is happening for me. And the third level is the world is me. And when you come to those last 2 levels, you realize that, well, I'm triggered because, and so you kind of do the mirror work, right? So the mirror work is all about asking the question. It's all about trying to figure out, well, why is this triggering me? And you kind of ask yourself, what is it that's triggering me? And then you try to figure out what is it that, so you have to point it to yourself. So you have to take this, okay, so the twin flame union, maybe, I'm upset because, my twin flame is ignoring me. So then you have to kind of point it to yourself and say, how am I ignoring myself? And then you always have to come up with that answer because that's always the answer, because all it is that people, and most likely your twin flame, they are mirroring back to you something inside of you that needs to be uplifted, healed, or rectified in some way, or just accepted and own it. Okay. And so what is happening is that whatever is not in alignment with your twin flame union, which is at the highest level, is now being purged right now. So that's what we're getting with that. Okay. So let's get some clarifiers though. So let's ask, so what else do you want us to know about gilded regret on the divine masculine side? Let's get some clarifiers on the regret. What are we saying about regret, please, for the divine masculine? What are we saying about regret? What does this have to do with, please? Regret. Ooh, trying to please everyone. Interesting. Okay. All must have prizes. Okay. So trying to please everyone. So this did come out reverse. I don't know if you noticed that I flipped it over. So what I think was what they're regretting is that they don't feel like that they're pleasing everyone in some way, or they're trying to please people in such a way where it's hurting them. Okay. So there's some kind of regret here with pleasing people. So maybe something happened in the past where maybe some trauma happened to them. And so to please their parents or please their teachers or please whoever, they've kept quiet about certain things that may have happened to them. Trying to keep the status quo, not shaking up anything, keeping everyone else happy, and not, saying anything. Okay. And so this is something that they may have regret over. All right, but let's look at the divine feminine. Let's look at the divine feminine. Okay, why is parasite here, please? What does this have to do with? What does this have to do with, please? Parasite shadow. What does this have to do with? Okay, also what they're telling me before I even pull a card is that this could also be feeding off of a relationship. So let's just say for some of you, maybe you're not into being on the comments and speaking badly about the world or your twin flame. Maybe this is more like feeding off the relationship where it's like this is like your lifeline, right? Like you're feeding off of it. It's like a feeding frenzy. It's like you're hungry for this relationship. And so instead of focusing on yourself and focus on the love for yourself, for some of you, it could just be feeding off of a particular thing that you feel is necessary in your life for your lifeline or survival. Okay, so we have covering up errors. That's interesting. So it says painting the roses red, covering up errors. So I know what this means. I don't know if you could take this meaning as to way you know it to be true, but what I'm getting for parasite is that for like covering up errors is like, I felt like I was very sure that this person was my person, and I went for it and I started this relationship, but now, this person broke up with me and this person is treating me pretty badly. Who knows like what your situation is. And now you're thinking this was an error, and now I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to start saying that, this person made the mistake, this other person was wrong in doing this, and this. And I'm going to cover up my own errors. I'm not going to make myself look bad for because I told everyone that this was the one. I told everyone this was my twin flame. And now this person no longer wants to be with me. And so now I'm going to cover up this error by feeding off of the negative energy. I'm going to like think about it and think about how I can cover this up. Like I don't care anymore. And, this is not something that was for my highest good. And so I'm just going to go ahead and, talk to my friends or other fellow twin flames who also had this same bad experience as me, covering up the error. That's what I'm getting. But you may have a different definition of what that could mean for you. Okay, so let's also look at some other guidance or clarification. Why is gilded regret here for the DM? What shadows are blocking twin flame union? Why is gilded regret here for the DM, please? Gilded regret for the DM. What does this have to do with? Gilded regret. Yeah, past lives. Yeah. Yeah, so the DM may have been more of a people pleaser in past lives, may have, not served oneself, maybe gave up own happiness for others, maybe in this lifetime as well, but something happened in their past life. You can help them with that. You can help them cut cords from past lifetimes for you and your twin flame. And also the emotion code is also very beneficial in releasing any trapped emotions that might be causing them regret. Okay. And then also if you'd like a reading with me, and if that is one of your questions, I can also help you with that and what that means. Let's look at the divine feminine side. Why is parasite here for the divine feminine? And again, feel free to switch roles or take both. Or none, if it doesn't, don't make a fit if it doesn't. Okay, so divine feminine, wise parasite, shadow side of, and trust me, I think everyone, like there's not a single person in this world that doesn't have this, right, where they fed off negative energy in some way. Okay, it's because we're programmed to do so. We're programmed to listen to what the news is saying and feeding off that negative. I mean, that's what sells, right? That's what 98% of the world is geared towards, that lower energy, whether, sex, drugs, and like anything that they make into violence or, anything that's like not about the higher realm of things. Obviously, sex is not lower energy, right? But anything where they make it where it's more, violent or more lower vibrational, it just seems to attract more people, and people feed off of it because they don't want to be alone or feel alone in their own misery. So that's really an everybody thing, one time or another, right? Okay, but let's get clarity on this. What is going on here? What can I have clarity or some kind of guidance when it comes to this parasite type of shadow for the DF? Yeah, letting go. So that's the advice, letting go. Because, okay, so if this does mean to you where you're just not letting go and you're feeding off of this relationship and that like you feel like this is your lifeline, or like this is where your happiness is and you're feeding off of it. In that respect, the answer is to let go. Not stop loving, keep being playful with your DM, but let go in such a way where, if you can, put that energy on you. Like just kept saying, I love, let's say your name's Sally. I have to say it in the third person. I am in love with Sally. I am in love with Sally. Sally is the love of my life. I adore Sally. Whatever words you need to say to make you feel love, and what you start doing. I know it sounds weird, but because you're share a soul over soul, it's like now you give that energy back to yourself, and you're leaving that deficit with your twin flame, and they feel that deficit and they feel that energy, and then that energy comes onto you, and they can't help but to feel that deficit within them, and now their focus is on you. I know that sounds weird, and then you can let go, but just focusing on yourself. Because wherever there's a deficit, so if there's a deficit in your divine masculine side of you, so let's just say there's a deficit in the divine masculine, right? The divine masculine is all about focus on oneself, right? Commitment, having direction. So you need both, okay? And so let's just say you're not doing that. Let's just say you're not focusing on yourself, okay? That means you have a deficit in your divine masculine side of you. So you have to start doing that. And now you're fulfilling your divine masculine side. And now that there's no more deficit inside of you, that energy is now pulled into, it's almost like a magnet. And now you're pulling that energy to you instead of repelling it. I hope that makes sense. You need all to be balanced, okay? You need to have focus on self. You need to have your DM in check. You need to have your DF in check, okay? And so usually focus on oneself is really kind of a DM thing, whereas like a focus on others is kind of like a DF thing, but you need both to be balanced. And when you focus on yourself, you're no longer, because you were nurturing that energy in your DM. You are nourishing that energy, right? So like think about it. Like think about someone who really, really, really likes you, okay, outside of your twin flame journey. You don't have a need to think about them because they're already nourishing you. But the minute they leave, the minute they put their focus on something else or themselves, you feel that energy leave you, right? All of a sudden you have that deficit and you're like, where do they go? I need them. And now that's what happens. And now you nourish, now you end up attracting, right? I mean, I'm sorry, you end up like going for like now you want to be with that person, right? So, but that's just for some of you. I think for most of you, you are definitely in that balance of loving yourself, as well as loving your divine masculine. Okay, and I'm pretty sure your divine masculine is loving you as well. So letting go just means knowing, trusting that the divine is helping you in every step of the way, and that it's going to happen. Let's look at another clarifier. Let's look at gilded regret. Let's look at gilded regret for the divine masculine. Can I have clarity on this, please? Some kind of guidance for the divine masculine side of us. Can I please have guidance for the divine masculine on gilded regret, please? Okay, we got the mystic of peace. I am peace. When my mind is clear, the way is clear. When my mind is clear, the way is clear. So yeah, so gilded regret. They're not at peace right now. Something that happened in their past lives. They were trying to please everyone in some way. Or maybe they felt like they didn't please anyone. Maybe they felt like they did something wrong and they displeased everyone. They let everyone down in some way. And so now they have all this regret. And so the way to getting out of this shadow is to accept whatever it was that happened and to have peace with it. Make peace with it. Clear the mind, whatever that means to you. Take the shadows and heal it in a way where you accept and own all of you, all of yourself. Let's look at the divine feminine though, okay? Let's get some guidance on the divine feminine. on the parasite shadow. One card, please, for the Divine Feminine. One card. All right, so we have the goddess of all that flows. I am an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. It's beautiful. See the light in her heart and the aura around her. I am an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. That's gorgeous. Okay, so yeah, so with this parasite type shadow, it's all about creative energy. It's like creating a life for yourself, not relying on outside factors. Because if you look at scientific research, and you talk to people who supposedly have it all, they have a relationship, right? They have kids. I mean, some of them are even millionaires. I would say even millionaires across the board, because trust me, I worked with millionaires for like 16 years. And not that I was a millionaire, but I worked with them. I worked for them, I should say. And let me tell you, they were not happy. They were not happy people. You know why? Because they kept searching for something outside of themselves to make them happy. And they were realizing money doesn't make them happy. And their families didn't make them happy. Their relationships didn't make them, because they didn't have happiness within. And so it's all about the creative energy. It's about creating something, giving birth to something, and like living in the moment to moment with whatever nurtures you. It could just be as simple as lighting a candle for yourself that's nurturing, going within and meditating, or doing yin practices. It could be with smells, like the oil essences, whatever it is, or working on something that you're so passionate about doing, whether it be writing, or for me it's tarot, whatever it is that gives you passion moment to moment, that is going to release you from the shadow of parasite. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do another clarifier. I don't know why they asked me to take these cards, but this is about life-changing things that are happening in your life right now. This is about what's happening in your life. So what does this have to do with regret? What does this have to do with regret, please? What does this have to do with regret for the DM, please? What do you want to say about regret? Yeah, so it says you are stronger than you know. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so for those of you who are relating to this regret, something that may have happened in the past, or something you wish you've done differently and you're not quite at peace about it, just know you are stronger than you know. You are very strong. You chose that particular path for a reason, and you are stronger than you know when it comes to healing it. And just know, because the third level of consciousness is I am the world, just know when you heal it, you heal in others. You took this on, right? You took on this karma for a particular reason, and you took it on to help heal the collective, to help heal your bloodline, to help heal your future children and future ancestors in some way. Okay, that's why you took it on. Okay, let's look at the Divine Feminine side. Okay, so let's look at, what does this have to do with the parasite shadow, please? What does this have to do with? What does this have to do with for the parasite shadow side? For the DM, please. We got windfall. Interesting. So it's like, notice your own windfall. And the more you notice, like if you were to take 5 minutes and write down every fabulous thing that's happened to you, and every fabulous change you've ever made for yourself, or any kind of accomplishment that you've ever had that was meaningful, and you focus on that, and you keep reading that list of yours, and you keep reading and rereading like what you did that was so like life changing, it will continue to bring you a windfall. Like that's what you focus on. Instead of going on websites or comments or whatever you feel like you need to feed off of, like I'm not alone in this misery of mine or in this alone. Instead, write down everything you've accomplished or everything you want to accomplish or anything that makes you feel uplifted, anything that you feel that is going well in your life now, or anything. It could be little things like, oh, my friend bought me dinner the other day, like whatever, like little things where it is piles up. Reread that list, and that's what you should focus on, and that is going to bring you a windfall. So I don't know why they asked me to do this deck, but this is another. Let's see what kind of guidance we get from this deck for the DM, please. Let's start with the DM. It's very hard to shuffle this size deck, but let's see, what does the DM want? What should we know about the DM about regret? All right, so caring. Okay, I don't want to read all this because it's so like out of the box. It's all about a woman. But anyway, maybe because the woman is so caring. But yeah, so this is all about, it says, reflect on your history, imagine your future, caring. Reflect on your history, imagine your future, caring. All right, so for those of you who relate to the DM, reflecting on your history, nurture yourself. You can change the past, by the way. The higher vibration that you get to, you're changing timelines now. And I promise you that when you talk to people on a higher vibration, they don't even know what you're talking about. Like if you think you hurt someone in the past and then you switch timelines, meaning you raise your vibration, your future has now changed and your past has changed. Now, obviously, if there's something that you contracted something with someone, it can be healed. You know, you can ask Archangel Michael to help you to cut cords, maybe cut karmic contracts, anything like that. And forgive yourself and forgive others is the key, because forgiveness, they say, they've done research on this, is what brings you to the highest vibration. It's like that. There's no other thing that brings you higher than forgiveness. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do one for the DF. I apologize. So the DF, let's see. What do we have for the DF, please? What do you want to say about parasite for the DF, please? What do you want us to know, please? About the Oh, we got the same one. You know, I had a feeling. There's something inside me said it's going to be the same exact card. I just knew it. Yep. Same thing. Same exact thing. Caring. It's all about the caring. Okay. Care about yourself. It's all about caring for yourself. Remember the levels. Okay. Level 1 is life is happening to me. Level 2 is life is happening for me. Level 3 is life is me. Okay. And when you care for yourself, everything changes. Your whole matrix changes when you start caring for yourself, because if you're feeding off negative energy, you're only poisoning yourself. You're not hurting anyone else. You're only hurting yourself. And again, this is for the collective, so if that doesn't resonate, then don't make it fit. Okay, so let me grab two more things, little pieces of advice. So I'm going to get advice for everyone, since this is not really something that I can really shuffle. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go like that. Let's just pick one. Okay, what do you want us to know today? Okay, yeah, look at that. Forgiveness is the best way to disempower the enemy. Okay, forgiveness is the best way to disempower the enemy. So for both of you, for both the DM and the DF, forgiveness in many different ways. So if you do feel like somebody is your enemy, if you do feel like someone has wronged you, you know, you can disempower it. Like you can empower yourself by forgiving them, because now you're no longer poisoning your own body. Okay. And then also forgiveness also is forgiving yourself if you're feeling regret. All right. And that also disempowers that shadow when you forgive yourself and no one else is hurt. Okay. There's a universal secret. There really is. There's a universal secret. So please don't beat yourself up. There's something you don't understand about the background of everything that happens. Everything happens for a reason, and it's not what you think. There's a universal secret. And so trust me when I say you can forgive yourself. You didn't do anything wrong. Let's put it that way. You did nothing wrong. Okay, so now let's get some advice, please. I'll get advice for the DM and the DL. So let's start with the DM, please. Can I have some advice for the DM, please? Advice for the DM. One card, please. That's so funny. And when I gave that last piece of advice, it was 11:11, by the way. All right, so for the DMs, here's your advice. Surrender to your intuition. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. So DMs, surrender to your intuition. Your intuition is correct. Don't go into your headspace. Stay in your intuition. Stay in your gut feeling. You are correct. All right, DFs, what advice do we have for the DFs here? What advice here do we have for the DFs? One card, please. Surrender fear. So, right, so this makes sense. When it comes to parasite shadow, it has everything to do with fear. Okay, it says let go of the fearful stories you are telling yourself. Stay in the moment, focus on solutions, and celebrate every baby step forward. And if you look at the person, they are like like power throughing this fire. They're like power, like they're very powerful. They're like, you know what? I'm over it. I'm over this fear. I am going through it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to focus on it. I'm going to power through it, and I am going to focus on what is good and work on my shadows. Notice those triggers, right? The shadow side of you is actually a part of you that is good. Don't look at the parasite as bad. This is not meant to say, oh, shame on me that this is something that's bad about me. No, own it. We all do it. Every single one of us. We do this. Trust me. I do this just nothing to do with my twin flame, but I'll do this with like the world. Like I like to complain to people about what's happening in the world. And it is a shadow that feeds off of negativity. It brings down my own vibration and it poisons my own body. So, and there were things that I had regret about. There were things that I regretted in the past. I have healed it since then. But anyway, it's not a bad thing. This doesn't mean we're bad, okay? Because that's what society wants you to think, but it's not. Nothing to do with bad or good. It's just a shadow that's a part of us that we need to make a part of us. I should say this at the beginning of the video. I really should. This is not to make anyone feel bad. It's just to show that this is something inside of us that we need to own and be okay with and call back to us and say, this is a part of me. I love that part of me. Hey, I love this part of me that is parasitic. I love that part of me. It's okay. But I'm going to be more aware of it now, and so it will not take over my life. It will not direct my path. It will not bring me into a lower vibration. I love it, but it's not going to take over. Same thing with regret. You know, I love that part of myself, but at the same time, it is not going to rule my life. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. And if you're interested in a 10-minute free reading, go ahead and email me, comment below. Thank you so much for all of my new subscribers. I really, really appreciate you. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.